So I'm making a batch of butter chicken, look over to the oven and notice that the display's off. Not a big fan of this oven. We've had it for 5 years, just over 5 years, and this is the second time that it's broke. I don't recommend IKEA appliances. They suck. First thing I do is check that the power's on. No problem there. So go down to the breaker, find the one for your oven. I look at the numbers 2527, transfer that over the panel, 2527, and flip it off. So this breaker right now is on, which is to the right. In the middle would be tripped, and to the left is off. If it's tripped, that's a whole different problem. Flip it off, go up to the oven, open the door. There's 2 screws on the front, one on each side. It's actually really easy to get the oven out. You take these 2 screws out, one on each side, and then you just slide it out. All right, so with the screws out, find a good spot to pull, and then wiggle it out a bit. And now there's going to be 2 screws at the side at the top panel. That's what we want to get at, is the top panel. We want to get behind there. So take the 2 screws out on the right side and then over to the left. I mean, you don't have to do right and left. You could do left and right. It's up to you. So get those screws out and then you just kind of pop the front panel a little bit up and then out. And then what I like to do is flip it up on top of the oven because it's going to rest there. There's some ribbon cables. I actually detach that one because it gives a lot more slack. You just pull it out and then you could flip it up to the top. I had to pull it out a little bit more just to get enough space on top so that it would rest. Okay, so the issue is this piece here. It's called a thermal fuse. All you have to do is unplug each side and then undo the clips and you could pop it out. So the idea here is that if your oven got incredibly hot for whatever reason, this would open the circuit and cut power to the oven, turning it off. Well, they fail for absolutely no reason, and then you're stuck replacing it. It's super easy to find them, and I found it was a lot cheaper to get it from my local appliance store than buying it online. I'll put the part numbers in the description. But yeah, it's exactly the part that comes out, and then the install is just the opposite of the removal. So plug your connectors into each side, and then pop it back in. Now, if you don't really care about the safety features, you could always just bypass this by connecting your 2 connectors with a wire, and you wouldn't have the thermal fuse, but your oven would work fine. Old ovens probably don't have this. I'm guessing it's a feature of wall ovens maybe, because they're in the wall. Pop it back in and you're good to go. This part costs about 40 bucks, 40 bucks Canadian, so you're probably like 15 American, something around there. Okay, and then the installation is the opposite of removal. The hardest part's getting this ribbon cable back in, which, like I said, you don't have to take it out. It just gives you a lot more slack and it's easier to work with. After struggling with it for a while, push it in with your fingers and then pop the front panel back on. Line up those holes. It kind of pops over and in a bit and then push it. Just give it a little push on the front to get it back on. And then the 4 screws in the side. Really, you're looking at 6 screws to get this whole thing apart. It's not bad at all. You could do this entire repair in about half an hour, save yourself about $200 or $300. Push the oven back in, open the door, put your 2 screws in. They had plastic washers on them and they break very easily. This one was still okay because I was a bit more careful. The other one I broke, so I just put a metal washer on it and it's as good as new. Yeah, you wouldn't believe only 2 screws hold this thing in. I mean, I guess you would believe it. All right, once it's in, go down, flip the breaker back to on, and hopefully this fixes it. You can see there it goes. Display's back on, and it's just going to cycle through some codes. I don't know if they're error codes or whatever they are. But yeah, that's it. It works good as new now. Hopefully this helps you out.